This daily dose is brought to you by Pirate.Black. ARRR!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Voluntary View. We've got two very special guests today. They're going to be talking to us about privacy-focused cryptocurrency. I've got Draeth, who is a captain on the pirate chain, and I've got Luna, one of his first mates. Welcome to the show. We're talking about the pirate chain. Tell me, Draeth, what's so cool about the pirate chain?
So pirate chain is the first completely anonymous utilizing ZK Snark's chain, meaning it's using some awesome technology called zero knowledge proofs, right? Mm-hmm. So basically it's a mathematical way to prove that something is true without actually showing said thing.
That sounds complicated.
The cool thing about it is that there's no balances shown, there's no addresses shown, there's no transaction history shown at all on the Block Explorer. So in other words, if I make a transaction with you, nobody else knows that happened. They know that something happened on the network. They don't know what happened, with who or what amount, nothing.
Does the computer itself know? Does it keep track somehow?
Well, the chain does, and basically you would need something called viewing keys to be able to see that transaction. Everything is encrypted with military-grade encryption. So there's no way for somebody to actually view that transaction unless you give them permission to view it.
So everything is encrypted then? The currency and the records of the transactions?
Yep.
So then how is this different from Bitcoin? Because most people, they've heard of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Okay, electronic money, that's fine. But how is it significantly different from the Bitcoin, which is the most well-known?
So here's the problem with Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, while it's censorship resistant to where you're not restricted on who you can send funds to or where you can send them to, the problem is that everything is transparent. What that means is all of your transactions that you make, all of your balances that you've had, or everything that you sent or received can be viewed by everybody. So, for example, if in your case, if you wanted to make a donation to somebody, while a particular government doesn't want donations going to that particular group for some reason, even so, like a noble goal or a noble cause, they can see that if they know that that's your wallet, they can see that you're donating to that cause and how much you're donating and how much Bitcoin you have, And even taking that aside, if there's a nefarious actor that knows you have that wallet, now they know how much you have, and that puts a target on your back. Because you can be extorted for that money, you can be held at ransom or whatever, because they know you have the money. Whereas with something like Pirate Chain, nobody knows anything, right? Nobody knows how much you have, who you gave money to, who you received money to, and so forth. And the other problem with Bitcoin is, say you're completely innocent and everything, but down the chain, like some nefarious actor sent some funds to somebody else, and then, you ended up down the line receiving some of those funds, having nothing to do with them. Now you're linked to them, right? It's all about fungibility.
Interesting. So when it comes to Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency itself can only be controlled and accessed with the correct codes, but all of the transaction history and balances is open for anyone to see.
That is correct.
Okay.
So even if, say, for example, you can write memos in the memo field within a transaction. So if you wanted to send somebody a message on Pirate Chain, you could do that, and still nobody would know what that message is or a message was sent. So you can actually converse technically with Pirate Chain utilizing memos without anybody else knowing.
That's interesting. Can you only do that if you send some cryptocurrency to another person, or can you just send a message?
So it would actually cost transaction fee, and that's like 0.0001. So it's less than a penny, way less than a penny.
Nice. So then the actual name of the currency, the token is R.
Yeah, so the coin's ticker is R, ARRR, but the project name is Pirate Chain. The whole purpose of crypto is to use it. In my mind, when it comes to, I mean, the same principles apply, but what we're trying to do is build an entire network for either donations, like to causes, or for actually purchasing goods and services that you would normally use in your daily life, things like that. Buying Pirate Chain to do that, that's even better because that actually helps with adoption. The more you use it, the more it gets adopted over time.
That's a good point. Yeah, I've heard people say something like, "Oh, Bitcoin, it's a store of value," but the point of a currency is to be used, and the more people use it, the more likely more people are to accept it.
I'd like to do a little plug here. We do have a website that's called armada.com, and it's a list of businesses that currently accept Pirate Chain. And it's growing every single day.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's over 100 and something businesses on there now.
That's pretty good. Mostly online businesses, I'm assuming?
No, there's a few businesses that are actual, like, there's actually a plastic surgery place that accepts Pirate Chain.
Wow.
And there's a couple food stores, too. A couple restaurants.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Unexpected, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to come either, but I mean, the guy was a huge fan of Pirate Chain, so.
Nice. The Pirate Chain and the R coin, it sounds pretty cool. How would I go about getting it? I'll be honest, I already downloaded a Pirate wallet onto my phone, but there's nothing in it. I don't know how to get any of the R.
Yeah, so there's a few things you can do. One is obviously buy some Pirate Chain from an exchange using, say, Bitcoin or Monero or some other currency that's tradable with it. Another way is to, if you just want to get just a tiny bit, just to mess around with it, you can join our Discord and just use the faucet, and then that just releases, I think, like maybe 0.001 R or something like that, just to mess around with. And you can just withdraw that to your mobile wallet, and then there you go. Or you can trade some goods or services for R. There was actually one time where I sold a couple miners for R, and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I mean, it's just think of it like a currency, right? So if you want to sell something or you want to sell a service or whatnot, you can just say, "Hey, I'm selling this, or I'm offering this, and in exchange, I'd like some more." You'll find several people or more that'll just want to do that because they know it's a currency and they want to spend it.
Right.
So also on our website, it's pirate.black, and the community has provided some really awesome video tutorials on there.
Handy. Now, is the Pirate wallet the only kind of wallet that currently exists for the Pirate Chain?
So there's the mobile wallet, which is what you're using. We have an iOS wallet that was released recently. Then there's obviously desktop wallets, whether it's a full node wallet or a light wallet. Difference being is that the full node wallet actually downloads the entire chain to your computer, so you're actually a node, versus the light wallet, which is just downloading the headers and and you're communicating with other nodes. But there are a couple multi-coin wallets that I can't talk about who they are yet because it's not announced yet technically. But there's several multi-coin wallets that will be in that'll expand our presence in different areas. So they have, like, say, and this is not one of them, but for example, like Jax wallet. Jax is a multi-coin wallet where you can store Bitcoin, Ethereum, and tons of other currencies. And it's something like that, to where we'll be added to there, so that instead of having just one wallet per coin, you can have a multi-coin wallet, and we'll be in one of those.
That's exciting. At the very least, more people are going to be able to find it and purchase it then.
Yep.
And you mentioned a Discord server. Where's that located?
Yeah, so if you go onto our website, pirate.black, you can scroll towards the bottom. You'll see like this massive section of all of our socials. We're on like 30 different places, and one of which is Discord. So you can just click on that link and then hop right in.
Yeah, nice. Very cool. I like the sound of getting just a tiny little bit, 0.001 or whatever, just to see what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, if you let me know when you're on there, I'll send you a little bit. So
Cool, thanks. Now, it's clear that you guys already believe in Pirate Chain and in the R. What do you think is the biggest selling point when talking to other people about it to get them to use it?
for me, it's just talking about privacy in general. I mean, everyone's privacy is eroding daily, whether it's new laws or just new things that come out. Like, for example, this is one of the examples I like to use, actually. You go to a supermarket, for example, right? You pick up a bunch of items, and then you notice on the signs it says, oh, with your MVP card or your store-specific rewards card, right? Doesn't cost you anything to get. It's completely free, but it gives you somehow a discount on those items. When you think about it, why are they giving you a discount for having this card? Oh, they're actually tracking everything that you buy, when you buy it, how much you buy, and then they target all these ads to you. So they know a lot about you that you don't realize, right? On top of that, there's actually been a case for Target where they're able to predict, I think within 70%, whether or not a woman is pregnant just by what she buys.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's so many things that people do in their daily lives that just expose their privacy, and like applications that you use that you don't even think about it that expose your privacy. Like, for example, Netflix or Google. Netflix, they know what you watch, how often you watch, all this stuff. Google knows probably everything about you already because everyone uses Google pretty much,
Yeah, the Google Maps, where you're going, when.
Exactly. See, it's by initiating those little tidbits that creates big sparks in people's minds, like, wow, I never even realized this or never even thought about it. And just think, some nefarious actor can get in somehow and just download all your data, from, say, Google or from some other service. So you have to start taking back your privacy. And one way to do that is to use something like, privacy currencies like Pirate Chain. So this way, at the very least, when you use it, nobody knows what you're doing and who you're transacting with and so forth.
What would you say to someone who said, I don't trust all of these fancy cryptocurrencies. I'm just going to use cash. That's not traceable. Just give them the dollar bills and it's done.
Okay, well, how are you going to transact with anybody online or over distances?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to use banks. Now, here's another thing about banks. You go to a bank, you could have $100,000 in your bank, and you go up there and you're like, and in your mind, you're gonna go buy a car. You go there and say, oh, I'm gonna withdraw 30 grand. What's the first question they're gonna ask? Why? No, it shouldn't be any of their business. It's your money, right? But you know that they're watching everything that you spend, and anybody that taps into your bank account, now they have a complete detailed list of where you spend your money, where you go, how often you spend, and that's very sensitive data. It's happened before, but with privacy currencies like Pirate Chain, good luck doing that.
I saw it on Twitter a little while ago that Ross Ulbricht is appealing for clemency to try to get his 2 life sentences reduced. And of course, he set up the Silk Road website where people could do things that were illegal, such as selling illegal drugs. And what would you say to people who said, oh, this privacy coin could be used for the same thing? People might do bad things with it.
The vast majority of drugs and everything is bought with U.S. currency. So, I mean, that's not a legitimate reason for me anyways. The vast majority of bad things that happen is used with U.S. dollars.
Very good point. All right. So it sounds like there's a lot of pluses to the Pirate Chain and the R currency. Are there any downsides?
The only downside in my mind is that it's an unpredictable market, and that's why you have to be cautious. Just like anything else, like You have to be cautious with everything you do. Think about what you're doing and think about things to protect or insulate yourself. Prime example, you surf the internet, you should always be using a VPN. Doesn't matter if you're just visiting normal sites or not. You don't want people tracking your data or seeing everything that you do. You want to encrypt your data, just like you want to encrypt your money. You want to make sure that nobody's able to see what you're doing, because your privacy should be one of your top priorities.
Mm-hmm. You got to agree with that. Nobody's business what you're doing. However, as we know, the government likes to think that it's their business. So what would happen if the government tried to say, okay, these privacy coins, Monero, the pirate chain, they're being used for too many illegal things, they decided. So nobody can use them anymore. They're illegal. Would they have any way of actually enforcing that?
How would they know you're using it?
Right. I would like to point out that China has tried to ban Bitcoin multiple times and has failed every single time. And being voluntarists, we also know what happens anytime the government tries to ban something. It doesn't really work. It just increases in value.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the, the Streisand effect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yes. At the very least now, everyone will have heard of the pirate chain and Monero and all the other privacy coins.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, that, while the U.S. does have a massive impact on economies and things like that, it's not just the U.S. that's using privacy currencies as well. I mean, look at all over Africa, look at all over Asia, all these other places. I mean, it's global at this point. And plus, trying to shut down a specific chain is impossible. So there's no way for any government entity to actually shut down pirate chain because it's global. There's nodes everywhere around the world. So and that's the problem. Like with central banks, it's a single entity. If you shut them down, they're gone. Whereas when you put the power in people's hands, and they're completely worldwide, it's like trying to stomp ants that are scattered all over your yard. You're going to run around, keep doing it, but more and more are going to pop up eventually.
Yeah. About the only thing I think they could do would be to try to target people who say that they accept privacy coins like the pirate chain. But I imagine that would just force it underground and stop people from using it openly, but it wouldn't stop them from using it at all.
Exactly. There's always going to be people that are going to be using it regardless, so it's a futile effort to actually try to do something like that.
So these privacy coins like the pirate chain, how do they benefit, for example, charities?
Well, I mean, if you want to make, say, an anonymous donation and you're an average Joe, you don't have lawyers, you don't have shell corporations, all this other stuff. If you want to make an actual donation, now you can without anybody knowing if you don't want them to know. If you want to just send funds, and plus, like, I think there was that trucker protest up in Canada, for example,
that's what I thought of too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you made a donation with Pirate Chain, nobody would be the wiser because they would know where it came from. They don't know all these different addresses that it came from, and even if they knew one of those addresses was you for some crazy reason, they still wouldn't know how much you have, who you transacted with, nothing.
Yeah, but the average Canadians who tried to support with their fiat Canada dollars, they got their bank accounts frozen because the government didn't like what they were doing.
Yep. It wasn't just bank accounts that got frozen. It was actually a couple of Bitcoin wallets too.
Oh, really?
So that's where ARRR would have come in handy, is they can't trace you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is that by seizing those wallets, what's actually meant is if they took the person in and they confiscated their computer, they took the actual private key. Because that's the only way you can actually confiscate a wallet. You can't prevent a wallet from sending anything, but if you have the private key to it, now, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically just take those funds. So it's essentially stealing.
I see. But not possible with the pirate coin on the pirate chain.
Well, they wouldn't know what transactions you've made or anything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And I think that's where it's important just for everyday people, because people might think, I don't need that. I'm not doing anything bad or illegal, but that's what the people who are supporting the truckers thought. It's
yeah, see, let me give you an example, right? So say, for example, you donate with Pirate Chain to that trucker protest, right? Now that person who cashed out, or you like, yeah, say they cashed out that Pirate Chain for fiat. Any entity couldn't trace that back to you, right? They couldn't see that you donate. It's just the people that would draw it to fiat, because the only way they could actually do that is if they say subpoenaed the company that actually gave you the fiat. Because remember that the only people that could see a transaction is the person that sent it and the person that received it. So after you sent it, that person received it, right?
Mhm.
Once that person sends it to somewhere else to actually get withdrawn, they can't trace that back from him to you.
That definitely sounds like it's going to get around a lot of things the government tries to pull on people. And not just the government. There's bad or shady actors all over the place, like you said.
Yeah, now say I actually had somebody bring this up to me a long time ago. It was actually during an interview. They said, what if they say blacklist wallets or wallet addresses, right? Would that affect anything? And if you're on Bitcoin, oh yeah, of course. Because say a US agency can say, okay, these are now considered restricted wallets, to where if any business accepts funds from these wallets, you're in trouble, right?
Mhm.
Now, say you own one of those wallets, now you can't do anything, because it doesn't matter if you send it somewhere else to another Bitcoin wallet that you own, because they see that already. They see that it went that place.
Right. And they'll just trace that.
Exactly. With Pirate Chain, they don't see anything. They can't blacklist anything, because literally you could just send it to another wallet of yours. Now they don't know that's your wallet, and they don't know. On top of that, they don't know what you sent. They have no clue.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like it so much, in fact, that by the time this comes out, at the beginning of June, VIA is going to be accepting the Pirate Chain and the R coin. We've got a wallet already set up, and we're going to be rolling it out then. So pretty
That's
exciting.
awesome. That's great to hear.
Mhm.
Is this your first cryptocurrency that you're accepting, or?
No, we do accept Bitcoin. And in fact, you mentioned places in Africa using Bitcoin. One thing that we do with it is we send it to a village in Sierra Leone and help to support the school kids there so they can have
Nice.
something to eat for lunch. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to being able to accept donations in R and to be able to use it to help people.
So that's why I love your guys' organization so much, is because it's showing that people are voluntarily making the choice to help others. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm so happy that we were able to communicate and work together.
Me too, Luna. It's going to be great. I know. So we just got a couple minutes left. So final thoughts. Draeth, what do you got for us?
Final thoughts is take a long, hard look at your daily life and what you do that potentially exposes your personal information or things like that, and try to take back your privacy. We're the pirates of privacy. We take that stuff back. So check us out at pirate.black. Check out the Armada at ARRRMADA.com. See all the places that accept Pirate Chain. Obviously, you guys will be listed there once you have everything up and running. And yeah, take back your privacy.
Fantastic. Thank you. Luna, any thoughts?
Just like I'm always saying on Twitter, is hashtag privacy matters. And you can take your power back just by starting with your privacy.
Follow the treasure to pirate.black, because financial privacy today is freedom tomorrow. Ah!